fees. That's transparency. By Arctic. Overbuilt, not overpriced. And by Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer. Game time temperature supposed to be around 102 degrees here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Astros taking on the Texas Rangers, first of a 2-game series. And Astros hoping to heat up in the month of July like they did in June. Big reason for that was Alex Bregman. Julia Morales with more on that. Julia?
That's right. Alex Bregman heading to the on-deck circle right now. Hey, this team had an off day yesterday, but Alex Bregman still found a way to rake. He was earning not just one, but 2 honors yesterday. He got the AL Player of the Month award, as well as the AL Player of the Week award for the week that just ended. He's our HEB No Player Does More. He had to outplay some of his teammates who had some excellent months of June. You're looking at his numbers, the 30 RBI, setting a franchise record. 11 home runs. It was all those extra base hits for Alex Bregman that made him so productive in the month of June. And he said, you know what, I've had good stretches in the minors, never like this though in the big leagues. And he also remembers playing well last year, but being asked if that was as good as it gets for him, he said, no, I still have more to prove and I can play better. He said, this is what I was talking about. And for keeping it going, he said, I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing that entire time. Hoping to continue that here in July. Kevin?
Julia, I was listening in on that conversation in the clubhouse, and that's what he said. He basically said, this is what I expected to be in the big leagues. Southwest starting lineup looks like this for the Houston Astros, as George Springer will be leading it off and playing center field, followed by Alex Bregman. Jose Altuve hits third. Yuli Gurriel is at first base, followed by Evan Gattis, the designated hitter. Josh Reddick is in right. Max Stassi is behind the plate. Marwin will hit 8th and play shortstop, and Tony Kemp gets the start in left field. Left field can be an adventure early in these ball games this time of year here at Globe Life Park.
Austin Bibbins-Dirks on the mound for the Texas Rangers, making his 5th start on the season. You see the record at 1-1. 22 2/3 innings pitched, 17 strikeouts in there. He will pitch to contact, and he has faced the Astros a couple times out of the bullpen. He struck out 3 of those Astros in 3 2/3 innings pitched. He has about 5 pitches it'll come at you with. The fastball is not high velocity, 88 to 91. He will go to the cut fastball, changeup, slider, and the last pitch he will probably reach to is that curveball.
Throws the curve, what, about 12% of the time, but he's crafty, that is to be sure. He's a guy that spent a lot of time in the minor leagues, just came up as a 32-year-old rookie last season. And George Springer steps in. We're underway. Well, Bibbins-Dirks with a 3.57 ERA, and it's been a tough go for George Springer. Hitting .253 with 15 homers and 42 runs batted in. Trying to bounce back from his worst slump of the season. That one popped up on the infield. On the right side, and Guzman makes the catch.
It's All-Star season and a lot of votes coming in already. It is on Tuesday, July 17th, and these are the leaders as far as vote getters in the outfield. Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, Aaron Judge. Of course, Jose Altuve out there at second base leading the way and leading all of the American League vote getters. Manny Machado at shortstop and Jose Ramirez at third base. Some good names, good ball club right there.
Big question mark, will this man be joining them in D.C.? Alex Bregman, American League Player of the Month in June. It's in there for strike one. Well, Julia threw the numbers at you, and the extra base hits is what really jumps off the page at me. There was a stretch in which he had 8 of his 9 hits during a stretch were for extra bases, including 7 consecutive extra base hits. Outside 1-1. Well, Bibbins-Dirks is not a guy that's going to overpower you, Blummer. He's going to throw a lot of things up there, like you said. 4-seam, slider, change, curve. Two and one.
Like a couple of change-ups, try to get the outside corner, try to get it down, but it's got to be a pitch in the zone if you're going to get Alex Bregman to attack. That is one thing he has done very well, is strike zone command, laying off pitches outside. Hey, maybe even getting the benefit of a couple of calls down the zone. That second and third pitch, there's 2 balls in this AB.
Leaving the count at 2-2, and that's the interesting thing about Bregman with his command of the strike zone, the way he's been so disciplined at the plate. You wonder sometimes if that reputation, precedes him with umpires, and it's almost a situation sometimes borderline call. Well, if he didn't think it was a strike, maybe it wasn't.
It'd be great if he was getting that kind of recognition and respect
that early, and he'll send this one into right field for a base hit. Or a 1-out single. They throw behind him.
It's a little aggressive.
He looks back in the dugout with a grin.
And with the All-Star voting that we just showed you, these are the guys that are kind of creeping up behind some of those guys who have that starting position so far. Alex Bregman is 761,000 plus behind Jose Ramirez. Carlos Correa, who's on the DL, still getting plenty of votes, might creep into that starting situation. But Yuli Gurriel, a couple of very good Cuban hitters vying for that first base spot on the All-Star roster.
Jose Altuve, league leading .338 average, leads the league with 114 hits, fouls this one back. Seven home runs for Jose. He's driven in 41. .364 hitter against Texas in 2018.
It's all right.
Strong to quite strong.
You like hitting.
Bibbins Dirks is never going to be accused of being a fast worker either. He's got Bregman at first after a 1-out single.
Well, you really feel like in recent years it's turned into damage control instead of pitching for the Texas Rangers. High on base percentages.
Altuve lays this one down. Bibbins Dirks will throw him out. And so Bregman moves into scoring position.
Altuve trying to bunt for a base hit. Now, talked about the big numbers against the Texas Rangers. We've seen that a couple of times.
And you wonder too sometimes if he was trying to get that ball more down the third base line and make Beltre have to make a play on that instead.
No, I'm with you. I think he was trying to pick on the old man.
There's Yuli Gurriel. Yuli with a runner in scoring position, and no one better in baseball than Yuli Gurriel. At that, driving in a runner when he's got a runner at second or third base. Really a .294 hitter. Welcomed their baby boy and came back on Sunday, and now he's looking forward to getting to that All-Star break. Ball in the strike. At 409, best in baseball.
It's pretty amazing, and I think the Astro hitters are going to have to be patient against Bibbins Dirks. Talked about the velocity, averaging 89.5 miles an hour on that fastball, but we've seen here early on that he will go to the off speed when he feels like he needs to get an out. But it's just a lot of patience by the hitters. You can't go out and try and get 91. You got to sit back and let that ball travel.
Foul back, and now Bibbins Dirks is ahead in the count, 1-2. Astros have won 6 straight over Texas. They've outscored the Rangers 36-17 during that stretch. Rangers have been playing better baseball here as of late, though. They've won 11 of their last 14. Here's the 1-2. You have got to be patient, don't you?
Yeah, it's going to take a little while for that pitch to get in there, and these guys are used to raging on some fastballs. But a tough series in Tampa Bay. You know, these guys are chomping at the bit to change venues, change teams, and face a different pitching staff that they've had success against.
Drops down, and Yuli rifles that one into the left center field gap. It'll go to the wall. The Astros take a 1-0 lead on Yuli Gurriel's 20th double of the season.
Yuli, you were talking about it, Kevin. This guy rakes with guys in scoring position. Andy Anderson strike zone shows you some of those pitches up and away, but they were staying on that outer third. Yuli leaning out over there to go get this pitch. But it was interesting to see Bibbins Dirks drop down for that Laredo-type slider. Kind of flattened out a little bit, and Yuli raked it in that left center field gap. Alex Bregman's going to score easy. And that's what you want to see if you're the Houston Astros. When they were doing very good and won those 10 games on that last road trip, they were scoring early and often.
Evan Gattis. Every time Evan plays here, it's coming home for him. Grew up here in the Dallas area. They're setting a franchise record for 30 runs batted in the month of June. Started the month of July on a good note as well. You know, it was really here where he kind of got that thing going in June. Astros were here, I think it was the 7th through the 10th of June. And Gattis homered in that first game, and that was back-to-back days in which he homered, and he's been on quite a tear ever since.
That run the Astros scored is the first run they have not scored via the home run on this road trip.
That's right.
They were 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position in Tampa Bay.
Evan Gattis down the left field line, but that's going to hook into the stands.
Power Players presented to you by TXU Energy, and it is Evan Gattis. There's some of those home runs. He had 2 on Sunday in Tampa Bay. The only runs the Astros would push across. They were trying to make a late surge, and that was a big one off the bat of Evan Gattis. And this is great to see, just in the sense that he drove in 30 RBIs in that month of June, and now continuing here real quick out of the chute in July. And everybody loves a good hug.
For homers. And Marisnik had the solo home run in the first game. Bregman homered in back-to-back games. And then Evan Gattis. So it's been an all-home run scoring situation as far as the Astros are concerned on the road trip until here in this first inning tonight. The Astros take that 1-0 lead. Two balls, 2 strikes. Count goes full.
You may see a lot of, maybe not a lot of that, but you will see moments where Dirks will try and bring that fastball late in some of these counts, especially in 2-strike counts where he slowed the AB down, obviously with his tempo, but also with the stuff that he's bringing in there. And then try and sneak that 89-mile-an-hour fastball in on the hands and jam some of these guys.
They walked him. Austin Bibbins Dirks having a labor here in this first inning. Robinson Chirinos will walk out and have a word with his pitcher.
I'll tell you what, Jose Altuve basically gave him a gift of an out. We haven't seen Jose Altuve bunt all that much, and usually he is trying to bunt for that hit to get on base. But as soon as he got that second out on that bunt, you kind of felt like might have an opportunity. But then Yuli Gurriel steps up. You're not going to have a break in this lineup, but Yuli, the way he's swinging with guys in scoring position, extended that AB, put some pitches on him, and then drove the run in. And now Evan Gattis put a great AB on him, and it's up to Josh Reddick.
You know, Astros have 3 of the top 5 hitters in the American League with runners in scoring position. It's not just Yuli Gurriel who's at second base.
They got off to such a rough start in April, driving guys in. They've really jumped that number big time.
Josh Reddick hitting .257. 6 homers, 21 runs batted in. That's with 2 on and 2 out. We're in the first. The Astros on an RBI double by Yuli Gurriel lead it 1-0. 1-1.
Josh had an interesting month of June. Good numbers, kind of streaky, but a lot of singles. It's a guy right here trying to figure out that power stroke and get things going.
He had been since May 20th before he'd had an extra base hit, and then had a double that was in the Toronto series, and been on a pretty good tear ever since. Remember, he spent time on the disabled list during that stretch as well. That misses high. It's 2-1.
And he still might be trying to get his legs under him too. It's one thing to go out there and try and manage getting through the day-to-day grind of playing baseball, but you really need those legs to drive through some of these swings. But it's just a matter of time.
Reddick hits that one to right. Mazzara looks up. It's off the top of the wall. This will score Yuli, and Evan Gaddis is being held at third. The Astros extend the lead to 2-0.
So close.
That hit right off the top of the wall. That was a line drive, too.
Changeup out of the hand of Bibbins-Dirks, and it hung out over the plate. Josh Reddick did a good job of staying back on it. Raked it on a line drive. That's the only problem. Maybe that launch angle just a little bit too low, but it was pretty well hit off the bat. Mazzara does a good job playing it off the wall to keep Evan Gaddis at third base, but a great way to start for Josh.
22nd run batted into the season for Reddick. Now the Astros with runners at second and third for Max Stassi. Max hitting .255, 7 home runs, 12 runs batted in. One 1-0. Stassi, a .280 hitter against the Rangers this season here in 2018. Now you heard the story on the pregame show. Brian McCann will be on the disabled list for the foreseeable future. Max Stassi is going to spend a lot of time behind that dish. Tim Fedorowicz has been called up from AAA. Caught the outside corner.
There's that news that Kevin's talking about.
McCann underwent a surgical procedure this evening, and hoping to get some word on how that went, and obviously hoping for the best for one of the good guys in Brian McCann.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put McCann ball on the shelf for a little bit. Just hope he recovers well enough to come back and help these guys out. But Max Stassi's done a good job throughout the course of this season. It was part-time use early on, but when he did get in there, he was smashing left-handed pitching. But now he's a guy that's going to be leaned on behind home plate. The one thing we always talk about with Brian McCann is how he handles the pitching staff, and now it's Max Stassi's turn.
Good scoop by Chirinos with a runner at third. And you would think at this point of the season, I always go back to what AJ, obviously a former catcher, he was never big on having that one guy that would be the designated catcher for a single pitcher, because he didn't want them to get in that comfort zone like that. Now you kind of see that situation maybe paying off a little bit, because Stassi, who gets hit by this pitch.
You got to be kidding me. That was a tailing fastball up and in. Stassi kind of opened up a little bit, didn't turn away from it. Match from Supermo is going to eventually give us a pretty good look at it. Here it is. Running up and in. Misses that right on that right forearm.
Yeah, inside.
That is the throwing hand of Max Stassi. That'll affect the grip a little bit. He's not had a good history with injuries here in Arlington.
I got him pretty firm too.
He got hit by a pitcher a couple of years ago right in the face. Now he's got this one off that right arm.
As a hitter, when you know that you're facing a guy that doesn't throw terribly hard, But he's a guy that's going to be, I mean, he's going to be flipping a lot of things up, and he's going to be spinning the baseball. Are you going to be later?
You're going to hang in there a little bit longer.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And it almost looked like he was waiting for something that was, maybe he had read breaking ball on that. Instead of turning away from it,
he opened up right to it.
Well, this will load the bases. You're still obviously looking that over.
Yeah, this will grab Tim Fedorovich's attention real quick. Evan Gaddis is that DH. If he comes out of that DH spot to become a catcher, you lose that DH. So you don't want to risk that. So it'll be Tim Fedorovich if Stassi can't go. But for me, they're trying to make decisions on defense right here as opposed to just letting him run.
Plenty of time to talk that over, and they'll make their way back to the dugout. So Stassi stays in, and he'll be at first base after being hit by the pitch. So it's Gaddis at third, Reddick at second, and Max Stassi at first base for Marwin Gonzalez. Well, you remember Marwin hit one of the biggest big flies of 2017, a grand slam against these Texas Rangers at Minute Maid Park. He bats with the bases loaded here. 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Strike one. Marwin, a .230 hitter with 6 home runs, 34 runs batted in. '31st pitch of the first inning. Austin Bibbins-Dirks. That one hit the center field. Delano DeShields right in his tracks. So that'll retire the side. The Astros get a pair, but leave the bases loaded. Protocol list, and Delano DeShields will bat ninth in center field.
Got a little something for you. It's our best in Texas power pitcher. It's presented to you by your local Ford dealers. And Dallas Keuchel on the mound. That first inning has been a major issue for him. That ERA by inning, 9.53 in that first inning for Dallas Keuchel. He is usually trying to work off the edges, and some of these hitters early on in some of these lineups are laying off it, but some of the mistakes that end up in the zone and hitters counts have been getting hit pretty hard, and unfortunately when those guys get in scoring position, he's unable to keep them from scoring. That's why that ERA is so high. It'd be great to see him come out in this ball game against these Texas Rangers, really work off the down and away edge, down and in edge, and get ahead of these hitters early and force them to chase some of the pitchers.
Welcome back to the big leagues, Tim Fedorovich. Is Max Stassi. I'm guessing they're going to take him back up to the clubhouse and get an examination on him after being hit by that pitch.
Oh man, the laces are on there.
If anybody wants to know what when people talk about lace marks, those are lace marks. Wow. Baseball will basically leave a blister exactly like the laces.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of Rob Manfred's signature on there too. That ball got him good. The good news is it's 150 degrees here at Arlington, so you're going to be loose as soon as you come in the game if you're Tim Federowicz.
Federowicz is in, just up from Fresno. Dallas Keuchel making his 18th start of the season. Faces Shin-Soo Choo here in the bottom of the first with a 2-0 lead. That one just misses inside on the breaking ball. Shin-Soo Choo could very well be the Texas Rangers all-star representative with a .283 average. 15 home runs, 39 driven in. Been dealing with a quad injury. He missed Saturday's game, and he's a designated hitter now for this team. The 1-2. Shin-Soo Choo, a 42-game streak in which he has reached base.
He's always been a high on-base percentage guy. He's got sneaky pop in there.
Two balls and two strikes. I think the question with Federowicz for me is, I mean, obviously he sits in the pitchers meetings and go over all the different scouting reports, different ways in which you want to attack different hitters. But how big of a change is that? How hard is it to keep that catcher who didn't expect to be starting in the game for all intents and purposes, being on the same page with that starting pitcher?
You know what helps?
What's that? That
little wristband on his arm. That has a lot of what the approach to a lot of these hitters. So if he does need to take a sneak peek, he can.
A swing and a miss and a strikeout. Shin-Soo Choo with that quad says, I'm not going to first base. It's 105 out here.
Yeah, limit the effort. But a good pitch by Dallas, staying down in the zone. That's a little more of a breaking ball action to that slider that he has. He can vary the mix as far as break and speed on it. But staying down in the zone is the key. A little something that we've noticed throughout the course of the season too is that, Dallas Keuchel is a guy who is very particular in how he goes out and attacks hitters. Down in the zone, off the edges, tries to create that chase. If he's throwing strikes early on, that really enhances his opportunity to get a little more on the edges later in the AB. But he's not a guy that necessarily needs to pitch to the weakness of a hitter as opposed to pitching to his strengths.
Check swing, Elvis Andrus. Astros haven't seen much of Elvis this season. He's been dealing with injuries, spent some time on the disabled list, 265 hitter, couple home runs. He's got 9 driven in.
Well, you know what's interesting about Max Stassi going out the way he got hit? Elvis Andrus had a similar one that broke his elbow.
Oh, and 2. Maybe some interesting decisions the Rangers are going to be having to make here over the next 6 weeks. He's one of those guys that has been here for a long time. And a swing and a miss. Dallas Keuchel with his second strikeout.
It's good to see from Dallas, and as you enjoy a cold one, which is a good day for it today, look forward to the Miller Hold True moment later in tonight's game. A couple of good breaking balls to get 2 early strikeouts for Dallas.
He faces 3-hole hitter Nomar Mazara. That's where you wonder, too, when Mazzara steps in here, if that's what the Rangers are looking to build a future around. Is he may be the current piece that probably like to use a bit as a cornerstone for down the road.
That last strikeout, a little more of a curveball from Dallas Keuchel. I know he likes to call it a slider and he can change speeds on it, but there was some pretty nice downward break, and I think that's what A.J. Hinch wants to see, is a little more of that north to south movement in some of Dallas Keuchel's pitches.
When working ahead, too.
And that's the thing. You put the hitter behind in the count, and it forces him to work off the edges instead of forcing the baseball in the middle part of the plate.
Become a defensive hitter.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. It's tough to do against a guy like Dallas when he's on, can create late movement.
Well, 3 batters, 3 0-2 counts. Astros leading 2-0. A ball and 2 strikes. Oh, 1-2 misses. Mazzara homered off of Keuchel earlier this year here at Globe Life Park. Strike 3 called, and Dallas Keuchel strikes out the side. We go to the second.
To participate, get on Twitter, follow us, and use the hashtag. But we want you to make your case for your favorite Astro to make the All-Star team. Now remember, you can vote too, so keep voting. You've got a few days left for that. But also tweet us. The players have been tweeting in support of each other. We love this time of year for tweets exactly like this. Yuli Great on social media telling you to vote for Alex Bregman, who's on fire. Lance McCullers yelling at us via Twitter, because that's what that means when it's in all caps. It's just yelling.
That's just angry support.
He wants everyone to hear. It's good stuff. But yes, tweet us. We will show some during the broadcast as we go on tonight. Kevin?
Colin McHugh's not a guy that seems as though he would be very angry very often. I know that wasn't his tweet, but all caps.
He's an emotional guy. He was feeling it.
Here's Tony Kemp to start the second inning. The Astros send 8 men to the plate in the first. Left the bases loaded and scored 2. Austin Bibbins-Dirks. It's in there for a strike. It's 2-1. But Tony has done everything they could have wanted and more since coming up from Fresno. Hitting .309. Set of home runs. Got driven in 12 runs. Been solid in the outfield. As a guy that was basically drafted as a second baseman.
But he's playing left because he's versatile and he can hit. That's a good thing. He's not going to slug you to death, but he's going to go up there and put together a pretty good AB. 382 on-base percentage. That's a good thing when you know that he's hitting 9 spot and turn this lineup over.
That second leadoff man did his job. He's at first base.
It's time to get George Springer going, and a pretty good place to get him going is right here. Globe Life since 2017. He has been a thunderous leadoff man. 338 batting average at OPS at 1136. That tells you he's getting on base a lot, and the slugging percentage is up at 7 tanks in this ballpark since 2017.
Well, George Springer not once but twice has led off games this season against the Texas Rangers with home runs. He bats here in the second inning. It's been a tough go for him, as I said. Last 14 games, just 4 for 59. Thing about a guy like George Springer, because we follow the team enough to know that he's one swing away. It's just a matter of when that swing is going to come. Bibbins-Dirks taking a close look at Tony Kemp.
Yeah, if I was Dave Hudgens, I'd probably have to get in the gym a lot more often, but I would force George to bring in the World Series MVP trophy and just have it sitting in his locker and say, remember this guy? He's still there. There's no need to panic, George, because that guy still exists. He's still inside you. Just relax, go out there and do what you do, because he is an astonishing athlete and a very good baseball player, and he's going to start lighting it up again like you're talking about.
In there for a strike, and if you're worried about the critics, they were the same ones that were critics right before the World Series, if you'll remember.
If not more.
Exactly. Tony Kemp, a big lead at first base. Two balls and a strike. Bibbins-Dirks is in nobody's hurry.
No.
Keeping a close eye. He's had a lot of traffic. The Astros left the bases loaded, scoring 2 in the first. Leadoff walk here in the second. Tony Kemp is garnering lots of attention from Austin Bibbins-Dirks. Got in on the hands, fouled into the seats. That was the 40th pitch with nobody out here in the second.
Yeah, that'll take a lot of those guys out in that Rangers bullpen out of their chairs. They might start stretching a little bit, but that is a ton of pitches on a hot night.
How tough was it as a hitter to be where George Springer is right now, knowing everybody telling you all the positive things, but at the same time just wondering when is it? You know it's going to come, but you're thinking to yourself, will it ever come?
You're impatient, especially during the regular season. You want to force things to happen.
And that hit Springer. So 2 runners on with nobody out in the second for Alex Bregman. Well, this week on Astros Bases Loaded, Alex Bregman heads to summer camp. Players reveal their inner superhero, and the Astros look beyond the American League West. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded today after the postgame show, only on AT&T Sportsnet.
And you're talking about George being in that slump. It's tough because your mentality is, I've just got to go out there and get a hit, find a way to get a hit. But I feel like when you have the mentality of just trying to get a hit, you're putting yourself in a tough spot, because then you start to try and go get the baseball. I like the mentality that Alex Bregman has gone out there with, where I'm going to force this pitcher into the zone, and when he does, I'm going to get ready to crush it. Because sometimes when you don't have that mentality of I'm going to try and hit the ball hard, you have a tendency to shorten up your swing a little bit and just try and make contact, and that doesn't usually benefit you.
Bregman singled and scored in the first inning.
Alex Bregman is the one that talked to us about the plate discipline. That's one of the things he wanted to work on. We heard Altuve talking about something similar a couple of years ago, and he went out and did the same thing, and it led to more power numbers. Here in 2018, Alex Bregman, the chase percentage dropping 5% and the hard hit percentage jumping 10. It's been amazing what he's been able to do when he's forced pitchers into the zone, and he has the idea of when I get the pitch I want, I'm going to absolutely unleash on this thing and drive it, and that's what he's been doing.
The hard hit percentage to me is what stands out, because I remember back in mid-May, you look at it, he's hitting 250, and it seems like he's squaring up and hitting the baseball as hard as anybody else on the team.
Well, and that was the thing early on when he was not getting a lot of hits and the average suffered a little bit. It wasn't for lack of effort. He was still squaring the ball up.
Hard hit baseball.
Yeah, and AJ Hinch has said it a couple of times. He hit the hardest 250 he's seen the first part of the year. Now he's starting to pay off because he's getting a little more of that launch angle that everybody likes to talk about, and he's finding those gaps and hitting them over the fence.
Bregman fouls this one back. First pitch swinging.
He just missed that too.
Yes, he did.
And I love the guys in the truck that come up with numbers to prove what we're talking about. Hard outs. Alex Bregman leading the way since the beginning of June, according to Inside Edge, with 25. Even as well as he did in June, there's still some hard hit outs.
Seemed like he hit more line drives at left fielders that were caught than anybody.
He did.
I know we watched them more than anybody else, but man, he squared up a lot of baseballs. This time he pops it up. Chirinos over and won't have a play. And that is, when you see a pitcher going that far on a foul ball on a night this hot,
yeah,
you know he is struggling, because he's trying to do anything he can to get an out.
He is willing these guys to go out and get outs for him.
This is a guy who pitched and played in, he had 443 professional games before ever making his major league debut. Anything to get an out.
Well, it's interesting too, this day and age with so many shifts being employed, I think pitchers are more aware of some of the area they may need to cover. Because right now you can see Guzman playing well off first base, and that's probably the thought of Bivens Dirks is I got to go over there and help him out.
443 professional games before he made his debut in May of 2017.
Perseverance.
That is a grinder right there. This one's playable in foul territory. And Chirinos pulls it in for the first out of the inning.
That's a big out. We've got a Shiner Box spotlight. It's going to fall on Jose Altuve. This season here at Globe Life Park, he's got 17 hits. The batting average, I had to read that again myself, make sure it wasn't a slugging percentage. But that is at .531, the batting average. There's one of those bunt hits that he was trying to do earlier in this game, but that OPS at 1230, he just absolutely wreaks havoc on these Texas Rangers pitchers. Driving the baseball all over the field, loves hitting on the road and loves hitting here at Globe Life.
If you were a Rangers season ticket holder and you went to every game this season, and you watched Jose Altuve, you would think he was the greatest player ever.
I once saw a man hit .530.
730, 17 of 32. Before his last at bat here. He's still over 500. What would Jose say? That's crazy, man.
That is crazy. He would have to agree on that.
Actually, he'd give credit to the guys hitting in front of him, the guys hitting behind him, but he's getting pitches to hit.
True.
Behind in the count 0-1. A ball and a strike. Tony Kemp walked to start the inning. Springer was hit by a pitch, and Bregman fouled out to the catcher. One out, runners at first and second for Jose Altuve.
17 hits in 8 games. Still trying to wrap my head around that. It's
this one to right. Mazara in his tracks. And Tony Kemp draws the throw. Now there's 2 outs. Yuli Gurriel, RBI double in the first inning. He got the Astros on the board. He steps in.
He's got a guy in scoring position.
Imagine that.
The way he's been driving the gaps. George Springer's in scoring position too.
And here's the thing. If you're Bibbins Dirks and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to be careful to Yuli.
Oh.
Then you look and see who's waiting on deck. Guy who just drove in 30 in June.
Yeah, don't load him up for the lumberjack on deck.
Tony Kemp not wanting to get too far away. He'll hit it wherever you throw it.
Usually pretty hard too. Saw some of his hot cold zones the other day, and a lot of it's up out of the zone and on that outside, that outside edge and off.
Wasn't the cold zone almost middle? It was,
Literally,
it was strange.
yeah.
It was just a strange look. It's the Tony Gwynn effect. Best way to pitch him right down the middle.
Well, it's funny you say it, because I was thinking about Altuve in his first 2 ABs. He's almost uncomfortable facing a guy like Bibbins Dirks, who doesn't really have a game plan and just kind of flipping things in there.
Swing and a miss, pull the string. It's 2-1. The thing about Altuve too, though, is there's one thing to being able to figure out the game plan. A guy can tell you what his game plan is going to be, but you have to have the talent to be able to still hit a baseball at the rate that he's able to hit a baseball.
Yeah, they'll use a phrase in that dugout, and it's called manipulating the barrel. That guy does it better than anybody. And it's just the ability, when your swing kind of goes awry or you get fooled by an off-speed pitch, to still be able to get the barrel to it. And Jose Altuve, you know, I was lucky enough to play against a guy like Tony Gwynn and seeing Wade Boggs and these guys who could really focus on getting the barrel to it and creating hits. Altuve's right up there with those guys as far as being able to manipulate that barrel to find advantages to get hits.
Was there a guy you played with that stood out you can think of?
As far as, you know, just racking up all kinds of hits, Mark Loretta's a guy for me that I thought could manipulate the barrel and manipulate ABs as well as anybody. Wasn't going to overwhelm you.
Right.
He could jump you every now and then.
Call third strike. Well, the Astros leave 2, but lead it 2-0.
Vote in the Chevy Stroke poll. It's on our Twitter page. Which Astros pitching performance in Tampa was the most impressive? Didn't get the offense going, but boy, was there some good pitching, like Lance with his 7 innings of shutout ball. Charlie Morton, 11 strikeouts, or the bullpen did a very nice job in that series vote. We'll reveal the results later in the show. Kevin?
Got a preference?
No.
I'm going Lance. Colors was really, really good in Tampa.
It's fun to watch Charlie when he's on.
There's Adrian Beltre. Keuchel struck out the side in the first inning. Beltre with a .309 average, 4 home runs and 26 driven in. Swings through that one. It's 1-2. That was a little inside. Dallas Keuchel struck out the side in the first inning, as I said. That was the first time since September 27th of 2015. Obviously, he's not a big strikeout guy, but he had struck out the side.
How about that? Against Texas, no less. Well, his high strikeout games in his career, 2015 against these Texas Rangers, and in 2018, he did it back on May 13th. He had a season high of 8 strikeouts against these Texas Rangers. Huh. Texas Rangers chase, huh?
Do you think? Make it 4 for 4. Beltre caught looking. And Dallas Keuchel strikes out the first 4 Texas Rangers.
Dallas doing a very good job. We talk about it all the time, but if he's below that line with his pitches, he's going to be highly effective. And he locked up a Hall of Famer right there in Adrian Beltre with a very good changeup. Yanked it a little bit. Or maybe he did it on purpose because Fedorovich is set up inside. We don't see that too often.
The last 2, de Mazzara and Beltre, were looking. First 2 were swinging. There's Rougned Odor. Odor had struggled mightily all season long. He's come on in the last 10+ games or so. Still hitting .241. Not been good against the Astros this season. Just a .176 hitter against Houston. Evens it count at 1-1.
Early on, good command of that curveball for Dallas Keuchel. We've seen it for the strikeouts, a couple of strikeouts, and now we're seeing it get back in this count.
Look, everything is down.
It's that is Dallas Keuchel. Pitch to his strengths, and his strengths are down there.
Just missed there, and even had a little extra look in.
Well, the pitch that struck out Yuli Gurriel to end was in a similar location on the other side of the plate. So not out of the question for Dallas to kind of peek in there and go, hey, it's a pretty good pitch.
Stared in again. It's not exactly a north and south zone here tonight. Now he calls that one a strike, which it was. Goes from Keuchel not being happy to Rougned Odor not being happy. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's Yuli, he'll toss over. Nope, take it himself. With the first ball in play, comes 5 batters in.
Astros tickets for this weekend series with the White Sox start as low as $11. Come see Altuve, Verlander, Springer, and AL Player of the Month Alex Bregman for the best deal of the season. Tickets are still available at astros.com/tickets.
Here's Ryan Rua, the left fielder. Rua batting in the 6th hole tonight. Strike 1. Astros 55-31. First place in the American League West, but just a half-game lead right now on the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners continue to play good baseball. Won 7 in a row while the Astros have dropped 3 straight. Swing and a miss by Rua.
Winning is good. And they have a tendency to find ways to win close games.
Oakland hanging in there. Strike 3 called. 5th strikeout for Dallas Keuchel. We go to the 3rd. 2-0 Houston.
Globe Life Park. Dallas Keuchel starting today, and usually it would go Lance McCullers Jr. getting the start tomorrow, but there has been a change in the starting rotation. A.J. Hinch announced today that he was flipping some things around, so it will be Garrett Cole going tomorrow in the series finale of this quick 2-game set. Justin Verlander will go Thursday. Then Lance will take the mound on Friday to open that series against the White Sox. Charlie going on Saturday. That gives Lance a couple of extra days rest. Charlie also getting an extra day of rest. It also keeps Garrett and Justin on their regular rest, which we have known them to do. And these are Charlie and Lance, both guys who are throwing a lot of innings this season. They've had injuries in the past, and they've done a really nice job of being healthy and staying on the field and feeling really good, and they want to keep it that way, guys.
Julia, one of the things that AJ pointed out with us with Lance was the fact that this was, albeit a short, small sample size, that in his career, this was the longest he has gone consecutive in a rotation. So just breaking it up, giving him an extra couple of days. And the good news is Verlander will start off the longest homestand of the season against the Chicago White Sox when the Astros come to town on Thursday.
No, I think Julia stated it perfectly. You've got Verlander, Garrett Cole, Dallas Keuchel. Those guys are workhorses. They've got those seasons of 200+ innings pitched and putting up 30 to 34 starts per season. Charlie Morton has a history of being injured, and he pitched an entire season last year, went into the World Series, did a great job. So there's some extended innings. And then you're right, Lance McCullers, making those consecutive starts. You got to make sure you get those guys deep into the season, keep them healthy.
Evan Gattis leading things off. 2 balls and a strike. Now it's 3-1. Originally, it was Lance scheduled to go tomorrow here in the finale of this quick 2-game series. Scheduled to go against Mike Minor. Announced today, Garrett Cole gets the start tomorrow. In there for a strike. So it's Cole, Verlander, McCullers, Morton, and Keuchel. If the Astros stay with that rotation, which they plan on doing to the All-Star break, that would have Verlander pitching on the Sunday before the All-Star game, last game before the All-Star break. Evan Gattis to Beltre. Throws across, and there's one away.
The Astros' upcoming schedule is presented to you by AT&T. Skipper A.J. Hinch leading these guys against the Texas Rangers for this quick 2-game set before they get out of here for the last time this season. It'll be back home against the Chicago White Sox back in that American League Central. Should be a real opportunity for the guys to start racking up some good numbers and get some W's on the board. Again, an extended homestand when the Astros get back after playing here tomorrow.
White Sox, A's, and Tigers come to town on that homestand. Here's Josh Reddick. Reddick doubled right off the top of the wall. Remember tomorrow's game. We'll start with the pregame show tomorrow at 5:30. A little 4th of July special for you. You can get this one in. You can go out and see your fireworks. This is upstairs. It's 1-1.
I'm hoping we have a pretty good show at takeoff.
Good point.
See some fireworks around the area here in Arlington, Dallas, or Fort Worth, or wherever the heck we're flying out of.
It's Fort Worth, technically.
Thank you.
I think. Ball and 2 strikes. 62 pitches for Austin Bibbins-Dirks. Moving around a little bit in the Rangers bullpen, but not anybody throwing as of yet. Josh just missed getting one out of here. Line drive hit right at the top of the wall. Mazzara never moved on that. Took a couple of steps back, and for the most part, that was it. I like the 4th of July uniforms.
I'm a big fan of them. Did a great job. Majestic with those uniforms and stars inside the numbers and lettering, and then Stance socks, hooking them up with the stars and stripes. We'll mix and match. The batting gloves, the hats look great. The Astro hats look great.
I knew what you meant.
So I want to make sure that we clarify that.
There's some that it just doesn't work with. The Tigers wearing red hats today. I was watching one of the games. I guess they were playing the Cubs. That's a good-looking cap right there. I bought one of those.
Did you really?
I did. Not for me, but I bought one.
I'm going to go down and beg our equipment manager, Carl Schneider, for one of those if they have any leftovers.
You might have a little more pull.
That's why I tipped so good back in the day. At least I think I did.
Reddick to right. Forget about it. Josh Reddick leaves the yard. His 7th home run of the season, and the Astros lead it 3-0.
Well, at first, AB, we were talking about if Josh Reddick gets those power numbers going, that's just another large weapon in this Astros lineup like he was last year. And here you go.
2 for 2 with a double and a solo home run.
Both baseballs he's hit this evening have been 105 plus off the barrel. This one in a much better launch angle, getting under that sinking fastball and launching it into the bleachers out there in right field, estimated 414 feet. That was a difference. The difference between that line drive double and the home run, 5 degrees of launch angle. Yep. And you know who's not talking about launch angle right now? Josh Reddick. We are.
2 for 2, 6 bases in his first 2 at-bats. Here's Tim Fedorowicz. Fedorowicz just joining us. He did not start this game. Max Stassi was hit on the inside of the forearm. Left lace marks, and that ball laced into center field. Tim Fedorowicz with his single. The hit parade continues. Astros' 5th hit of the night. How about that for a welcome back to the big leagues?
Yeah, be ready, huh?
Yep.
Never know. Good for him, too. Pick up that knock.
Well, Marwin batted with the bases loaded in the first. Flied out to center field. Hit the ball hard. But right at Delino DeShields. A couple of starts ago, to give you an idea of the kind of pitcher Bibbins-Dirks is, he went 6 2/3 in that game. He gave up a run right at the end of his outing. 6 2/3. He did not have a strikeout in that game. And at one point they were thinking he could go 7 innings here of shutout baseball and not have a strikeout. Hadn't been done in the big leagues this season.
Wow. In this day and age?
He came pretty close.
It's almost harder to do than anything.
Especially with strikeouts.
My gosh. Well, April and June are the only 2 months in the history of Major League Baseball where there's been more strikeouts than hits.
In there for a strike. The fact that it has come in 2 of the first 4 months of the season, and it's never happened before. I mean, that's.
Well, remember, I don't know if you remember, but we were talking about it, Todd and I. Oh, it's the cold weather. Oh, it's the, the game's getting rained out. Oh, this, all that. It's just how it is.
It's back foot swinging.
I was going to say, because when it happens in June, when it's 100 degrees everywhere, can't blame it on the weather.
You've seen it happen in all weather, all cities.
It's an epidemic.
Was that no decision against the Padres last time out? Astros faced him a couple of times last season. He was out of the bullpen. He was a 32-year-old rookie last year when he was called up. Look out!
Oh, Gary Pettis.
He's going to take a minute.
Tip of the cap.
That ball was chasing him too.
Man, oh man.
Here we go.
Gary trying to enjoy a big league ball game, and Marwin's testing that heart rate. Oh my gosh, that was close.
Got there in a hurry, didn't it?
Man, and it was just a.
It was as if
Steve Sparks would call that a finder. Yeah. There'd be a word in front of it, but I'm not going to use that with Gary because I like him.
Know what you mean.
But if it was going after Sparky, I would say ugly finder.
Ugly finder, exactly. Where is he? Okay. Sparky's celebrating a birthday yesterday. Gary Pettis is glad he's going to be able to celebrate another one.
He's had some time. He's spent a lot of time in that third base coaching box here in Arlington.
A former coach here of the Texas Rangers as well. Now Marwin strikes out. So 2 outs here in the third. Astros have left 5 here in this first 2 innings. Fedorowicz is at first for Tony Kemp. Kemp walked. He was stranded at second base back in the second. It seems like while Dallas Keuchel has been pitching 0-2 all night, seems like Austin Bibbins-Dirks has been pitching 2-0 all night.
He went lion.
Tony Kemp to right. High and deep. Mazzara. Did he get it? It's a home run. Kemp with his second home run of the season. Mazzara with a leaping try, couldn't quite reach it, and the Astros extend the lead on their second home run of the inning, 5-0. Now does Evan, wait for it. Evan Gaddis is not going to jump up and hug him.
Evan jumps onto Tony Kemp right here.
There
we go. Oh, he jumped on
did it.
Got him.
That's the adrenaline of circling the bases.
That is awesome. I mentioned that I like watching these guys play.
5-0 Houston.
That's great.
2 in the first, 3 more here in the third, and George Springer, strike 1.
Changeup. It's the same pitch that we almost saw Josh Reddick get out of here. He had a fastball, but Mazzara gave it a pretty good effort. But Tony Kemp with a big blast. Second home run of the season for Tony.
Just over the top of Mazzara's glove.
Plenty over the wall. Plenty.
2-pointer when it left the bat.
Yep.
This will be the 80th pitch. Austin Bibbins-Dirks. The 1-1. Got a hanger there, too.
Some good pitches to hit.
.31 in the first. Now 27 more here in the third inning. He strikes out Springer to end the third, but the Astros add 2 more. Make it 3 more. Josh Reddick, solo shot. 2-run home run, Tony Kemp.
How about Yuli Gurriel? Fresh off paternity leave, give him a little love over there at first base, doing a good job on the scoops. 96% of the time, he's going to pick it every time. Doing a good job getting out there. Remember, he came to the Astros, he was a third baseman. Alex Bregman swinging the bat, playing at third base, moved Yuli to first base, and it has been a good defensive alignment for A.J. Hinch. And it's even more interesting to see him. We've seen him move to third base with Correa out and move Bregman to shortstop, but at this alignment for Dallas Keuchel, that's the reason they're out there in the alignment they are in, is because they are very good defenders on ground balls, which Dallas Keuchel is usually pretty good at getting.
You really, it's almost one of those things, you don't miss it until you miss it. And you know, we saw it because A.J. Reed, quite frankly, struggled over there in the Tampa series. And
well, it was interesting that that one game was decided on a potential scoop.
It was a ground ball. It was either was on the second base side. Marwin was on the second base side. Yep.
He had to throw back across his body with a couple of runners on.
Ball hammered into the seats down the left field line. Have you talked to Baggy about that? And I was curious how much he worked with Yuli on footwork and things like that.
Yeah, we actually we caught Baggy in spring training and had a chance to talk about that. And that was always one of the things when I first got traded over here. And, you know, I played with several first basemen. Lee Stevens was a guy I played with in Montreal, did a very good job, but he was an enormous human being. He was about 6'5" and had just range for days because of his arms. And then I come and play with Jeff Bagwell. And Jeff Bagwell tells me, he goes, anything over my head, that's on you. He goes, if you get that ball down somewhere where I can get to it and pick it and help you out a little bit, then that one's on me. But Jeff Bagwell did a very good job, and he was very complimentary of Yuli. And a lot of it has to do with footwork.
Get yourself in a position to make that play. You know the hands are going to be there. You're a third baseman.
Yep.
So it's...
And the thing at first base, anticipate a potential bad throw. That way, be surprised by the great throw. That's a lot easier to adjust to.
Well, Yuli has gone from one corner to the other, has not skipped a beat. Robinson Chirinos, 213 hitter. Swing and a miss. The beat keeps on. 6th strikeout for Dallas Keuchel. is the first out of the third inning. He struck out now 6 of the 7 batters he has faced. Ronald Guzman just come off the 7-day concussion list in there for a strike. This is a guy that has, for a big man, plays a good first base as well, particularly on those throws. Guzman sends that one to left, and that's the first hit of the ball game for the Texas Rangers. A bit of sarcasm in that cheer at Globe Life Park as Guzman, one out single, brings up Delino DeShields.
That was one of the few pitches I think we've seen, if maybe the first one that we've seen elevated in the zone.
.230, a couple of homers, 17 driven in for Delino DeShields. That one hit the center on the run. Springer won't get there. Goes all the way to the wall. And Guzman will score the first run of the game for the Texas Rangers. It's 5-1. 10th double of the season for Delino DeShields. He's just driven in his 18th.
Another pitch up. MD Anderson strike zone. That breaking ball staying middle. Plenty of time to see it as a hitter. You see it pop up out of the hand, but that is right back into a right-hander's bat path. And with that shift that the Astros play in the outfield to the opposite field, real tough for George Springer to get there. That is a large man.
Yes, it is.
Home.
There's a lot of moving parts right there. Take it over to the top of the order in Shin-Soo Choo. This is 1-0. The last time out for Dallas Keuchel, it was the first inning that got him. He went 5 1/3. He gave up 5 runs in that first inning. Didn't give up another run until the 6th. In between, after giving up 5 runs to Toronto, retired 15 of 16 before allowing that run in the 6th inning. That was the game that Bregman won with the walk-off. The Astros with the come-from-behind win at Minute Maid Park. Drew backs away from that one. 3 balls and no strikes. Oh, that is a strike. Pretty good. He caught it a ball. I thought the right hand was going to go up.
Well, the curveball wasn't the best curveball. It was up in the zone. But that third pitch caught the top part. That is a lot of baseball in the bottom part of the zone not being called.
Well, after the walk, that brings up Elvis Andrus. Frustrated Dallas Keuchel looks in. Keuchel struck out 6 of the first Rangers he faced. Guzman with a single and then scored on Delino DeShields' RBI double. Shin-Soo Choo at first base after the walk, reaching base, extending his on-base streak to now 43 games. Hit to right, Reddick over. Reddick makes the catch in foul territory. Lionel DeShields will move to third base. That is easier said than done. He disappears from us around that corner. Josh Reddick.
Spent a lot of time traveling through here with the Oakland A's and now the Houston Astros, but that is a guy who is fearless in going out there and making a play for his pitcher right on that foul line. But Josh not giving up on the play. That was a great play. Won't get a lot of replays later on in the evening, but that was a great play.
Full speed, knowing that the wall is right there. Omar Mazar with runners at first and third. A run in here in the third. It's 5-1 Houston. Mazar line drive right at Euling. Step on the bag, and that will retire the side. Rangers get a run, but leave a pair. Astros lead it 5-1.
Including Kids Day, an Altuve Youth replica jersey, and a Verlander cake counter bobblehead. Visit astros.com/promotions for tickets and a full list of events. Kevin.
Well, the All-Star break coming up in July. And it steps in now, hoping to be a part of that All-Star team. A lot of Astro fans on hand for this one tonight. First of this two-game series. Brought his glove. He is ready.
You know what I love about the fans that bring their gloves? They're paying attention. They're waiting for that foul ball. I like it. Locked in.
Well, when Bregman got the honor, he said A.J. Hinch gave him the call. Said later on today, you're going to be named the American League Player of the Month. As you might imagine, Bregman really kind of downplayed it as far as the media was concerned. Becomes the first. It's only happened twice among third basemen for the Astros. Art Howe was Player of the Month in May of '81.
Nice.
Art hit .432 that May.
Wow.
This was the '81. This is the split season where we had the work stoppage in the middle of the year. This is where the vitriol for Tommy Lasorda from a lot of Astro fans, other than the fact that they were both in the National League West.
Yep.
And you hate it. If you like the Astros, you hated the Dodgers. It just kind of came hand in hand. But Art was leading the league, hitting .344 at the All-Star break. He wasn't named to the All-Star team. There's another knot for Alex Bregman.
So the league's leading hitter did not make the All-Star team. Huh.
That one stayed with him for a while.
Rightfully so. If Art was smart about things, he'd Start writing a movie script.
One of the absolute good guys.
Truly. And what a great baseball mind, too. It's a great conversation.
Altuve to right field, and Mazzara runs this one down. The Astros have had some success out in that direction tonight. One away after the Bregman single. Altuve flies out. Here's Yuli Gurriel. He had an RBI double in the first, struck out looking in the second. That was one of those bit of a head scratcher when, not about the ball strike, but with Marvin Hudson behind the plate. There's been some borderline that Keuchel feels as though he should have gotten, I'm guessing. Basically in that same area. Is that the nice way to put it?
Much politer than I would have.
Astros with 5 runs on 7 hits here in the top of the 4th inning.
I was just going to ask if politer is a word.
I was going to go throw another in there, so it'd be politer.
Your favorite tennis player is Roger Federer.
Yuli to right again. Mazzara back. This time he runs it down, and Bregman's got to get back. Just ahead of the tag. Well, Bregman was around second base. Mazzara made a nice running catch. That ball was stung.
Yeah, I was with Alex Bregman. I thought that ball was going to get over the head of Mazzara out there in right field. Really doing a good job of letting that ball travel and going the other way with it, trying to shoot that right center field gap. Unable to do so. And Bregman forced to scamper back, and luckily does just ahead of the throw.
That was a lot of running.
Good warm night for it.
There's Gaddis. Evan to Beltre. Throws across. Now retire to the side. At the age of 24, the season in which they were 24 years old. Now, Adrian Beltre, that was his 6th year in the big leagues. Remember, he debuted as a 19-year-old. Alex Bregman spent 3 years at LSU. Numbers favor Alex Bregman. That's saying something.
Now, if he just keep it up for the next 15 years,
15.
he'll be all right.
Longer than that. Adrian Beltrade. This is his 21st season in the big leagues.
Incredible. Good home run numbers.
37 points higher as far as the average is concerned.
Oh, yes. Man, Alex at 896. Strong run production also for Alex.
It was Adrian Beltrade, the Los Angeles Dodger. Beltrade picked up his 3,000th hit last season. Happened during the sad thing about it, as far as Ranger fans were concerned, it happened during the Pudge Rodriguez induction speech into the Hall of Fame. I was in Cooperstown for Baggies. And
timing is everything.
Yeah. So it was like you had to pick one or the other. Dallas Keuchel, after giving up a run in the 3rd inning, hoping to settle in here in the 4th.
It's going to leave a mark.
Beltrade has said he wants to play for the Texas Rangers next season.
Fastball inside, right off that shin. Might have been a little extra sauce on that shin burger.
Does that just stay sore all season long?
I could really gross you out and tell you, I run my hand down my shin, and I can still feel some scar tissue and some residue from doing that several times.
Residue,
it is miserable. That is painful for a very long time. And by the time you feel like the pain is actually going to go away, guess what?
Season starts again.
You do it again. Oh.
(3-2) hit on the ground. Marwin throws across and got him. Good stretch by Yuli. Carlos Correa, with Marwin playing short tonight. Carlos Correa hoping to be back on this next homestand. Still doing baseball activities, still getting in shape and getting ready to go. You know that the Astros are going to err on the side of caution when it comes to any of their players. We might see him on that 11-game homestand, hoping to.
Yeah, that would be a good thing, but I agree with you in the sense there's not going to be a real rush for it.
Well, I think that's the big difference in this season and last. Was you didn't have, not that you're going to rush guys back this season because the Mariners are a half game back, but you had such a big lead in the division. You didn't have to rush anybody back at all in 2017. There wasn't any urgency as far as getting certain guys back.
A little bit different this time around with the Seattle Mariners.
Julia, what do you got on Carlos Correa?
Yeah, he was supposed to be eligible on Friday to come off of the DL, but since he hasn't been doing baseball activities just yet, the likelihood is it won't be as early as Friday. But like you said, hopefully during that homestand. He has been in Houston, so he hasn't been with the team the last few days, reporting to Minute Maid Park every day, and everything has been a step forward. But gotta get doing those baseball activities first, and then they'll have more of a timetable of his return.
3 balls and 1 strike. It's unsure right now. It could be towards the end of the White Sox series, could be the A's series, you never know. Maybe Detroit. They're just hoping it's on this homestand. 3-1 pitch. In the air, foul. Astros got 2 in the first, 3 more in the third. Lead at 5-1. Home runs by Reddick and Tony Kemp. Rolled over on that. Yuli will field the baseball and step on the bag at the same time. Come out to Minute Maid Park this Sunday for Kids Day, presented by Exclusive Furniture. Fans can come early for kids' activities all around the ballpark, including inflatables, face painters, and more. Visit Astros.com/kidsday for tickets and information. It's not just this ballpark where you see a lot of Astros gear.
Gosh, he was impressive in Tampa.
All over baseball, yep. But this is still, I mean, as hot as it is, this is a great ballpark. I've always said that. I thought this was a really pretty ballpark, good place to see a game, with the exception of the heat.
Great place to hit. I know that.
If you haven't gotten a look at it and you want to see it, you better make plans for next year, because tomorrow is the last time the Astros will be here, and next year is the last time this stadium will be here.
Yes.
You'll be able to roll back the roof.
There you go. They're getting after it. Yeah, they've got a bold prediction that they're going to be in that ballpark in 2020. Never mind that eclipse that's on the horizon there off to the right.
All right here. Ryan Rua struck out looking. He was the 5th strikeout victim. Dallas Keuchel working with 6 punch-outs here in the 4th inning and a 5-1 lead. It's the 14th career start here at Globe Life Park. Hit high in the air. Tony Kemp comes over. Long way to run, and he catches up with it to retire the side. We're through 4. Houston leads it by 4. Seven hits in this ball game. 6 extra base hits, and it's guys like Josh Reddick off the top of the wall. Second double of the 1st inning. The Astros took the lead. They would never look back. Then Reddick, deep and gone. 2nd home run of the game for the Astros. 2 home runs on the game for the Astros. Here was the 2nd as Tony Kemp gets into one, and Mazzara just over his glove. 2nd home run of the season for Tony Kemp, and it's hugs for homers. Works both ways.
Smiles for everybody. How about Evan Gattis wearing a sweatshirt? Still 100 degrees here at the ballpark. But what's beautiful about that game summary you just gave us, Kevin, is that it's all the way through the lineup. It's not a particular part of the order. That's top, middle, and bottom.
Well, 4 of the 7 hits for the Astros extra bases. 2 of those off the bat of Josh Reddick. That double in the 1st inning right off the top of the wall gave the Astros the lead. Extended the lead after Yuli's hit. That ball hit square right at Rougned Odor. And there's 1 away in the 5th.
Got some league leaders for you. They're brought to you by Houston Methodist. Extra base hits in June. The Astros leading the way. They got a couple of guys with some great numbers. Evan Gattis, home runs and RBIs. Alex Bregman, home runs and RBIs, but 96 total in the month for the Astros, put them on top. Athletics right behind them, Twins, Blue Jays, and Yankees. And in the American League, that is your leader. These guys can mash when they get those pitchers in the zone.
Trying to carry it over here into July.
Don't see Seattle on there.
Yeah,
You're going to only see them in the standings, not so much some of the peripheral numbers out there.
Doing enough to get it done. Seattle half game back of the Astros after winning 7 straight. Astros trying to avoid their longest losing streak of the season. They dropped 3 in a row. Won the first in Tampa 1-0 on a Jake Marisnick solo home run. Then they lost 3 straight to the Tampa Bay Rays. Max Stassi hit by a pitch. He left today's game. This on the same day that Brian McCann goes on the 10-day disabled list. For the rest of the night, they hand the keys to the car to Tim Federowicz. So do you realize the Astros have had 4 catchers this season? Gaddis is caught as well. We've had 5 starting pitchers. Astros, when the Colorado Rockies get done with this week, the Astros will be the only team in Major League Baseball with 5 starting pitchers.
It's impressive.
It really is. Conversely, Tampa Bay, 13 guys have started. Texas has had 10 different starting pitchers.
That's really a credit to the personnel in the rotation. Those guys, we talked about 3 of them being proven workhorses in Verlander, Cole, and Keuchel. And then Charlie Morton, veteran, but he's suffered some injuries. But Lance McCullers may turn into one of those guys. Got to remember, he's still 23, 24 years old trying to work through that. But there's also a lot of things that go on in between each start underneath with a lot of the training staff and strength staff to keep those guys healthy and out there every day that they're supposed to be pitching.
Well, Bibbins-Dirks gets the strike out of Federowicz. Watch the Astros in more ways than ever before by downloading the new AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit attsportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you're all set. Available those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions may apply. She is prepared.
Way to get through that one. That was a good one.
Wow, that was a grinder.
We'll test you.
Kind of Austin Bibbins-Dirks to that one all the way through. Just fought through it.
Well played.
Has fought through these first 4 and now 2/3 innings. Misses outside. Well, you get the promo reads, and then you know if you're really good at this, you're probably you read over it before. That's probably what Todd does. I didn't read over him before. So all that considered, it went fairly smooth.
Absolutely. You had me fooled. You didn't have to divulge any secrets.
No, you were watching the whole time, knowing I was on a teeter-totter right there. Base hit for Marwin. He pulls that one into right field.
Marwin's got to feel pretty good about this. Tough couple of first ABs, but this one, a fastball down and in, just drop the barrel on it, yank it into right field.
Well, he has spent a lot of time against left-handers in that middle box along the bottom row of that the strike zone there. That was exactly where the pitch was that Tony Kemp hit for his 2nd home run of the season. That came back in the 3rd inning. This one hit the other way, but foul. So Tim Federowicz catching after Max Stassi was hit by a pitch. Will you hear anything on him, Julia?
We just did. The Astros reporting that he has a right hand contusion. He has been listed day to day. The x-rays were negative, so good news there.
Yeah, that is good news.
Yes, it is.
That's when negative is positive. That misses. It's 1-1. A ball and 2 strikes. All teams around Major League Baseball wearing their 4th of July gear. Astros with a needed day off yesterday. Today starts this 2-game series. Astros still with the best road record in baseball at 30-14. Tony Kemp to right field again. Mazzaro on the run and makes the catch. That'll retire the side. 5-1, halfway done.
HOU.com, and you see the orange jerseys there. They are Astros fans. This is the 10 and under club. The Colt 45s, they are from Seabrook, Texas, so they made the trip from Houston. They were on the field earlier trying to catch a glimpse of the Astros meet somebody, get some autographs, but they're not just here for fun. These guys are playing in the World Series in Mansfield, not too far from here. They've already won a state championship, so good luck to those guys. Their coach was telling me, this better not go late. We don't need extra innings. We got to go to bed early tonight.
Well, good luck to those guys playing right down the road in Mansfield.
That's awesome.
The first baseman, Guzman.
And that is for the kids, for the parents. That's not a sport. That is a way of life at that age. You're seeing it with a different sport, but you know what I mean.
Club sports will take over your life. I know that for a fact. I've got some volleyballers.
There's Ronald Guzman.
You make any of those trips with your son?
Yes. Played more locally though.
Okay.
Didn't nearly do as much traveling. You have your occasional. Nothing too terrible.
That's good.
That one's in the seats. I just never understood, and I see what they do. I mean, with all the great baseball, youth baseball that's played in the Houston area, I never understood why you have to go to Missouri to play other teams. And then you get to the championship game, and somebody's going to tweet me and say I don't know what I'm talking about. But then you end up playing a team from Deer Park in the finals
that you've already played like 8 times locally.
Exactly. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Guzman singled and scored the only run of the game for the Texas Rangers in the 3rd. Dallas Keuchel really been in control. Can't get the chase. Dallas has allowed just 2 hits. As Guzman bats with 1 out here in the 5th. There's been a lot of contact like that tonight when there was contact. Dallas struck out 6 of the first 7 Rangers he faced. It's been a tough go for Dallas against these Texas Rangers here in this ballpark. Fouled away again. 13 starts here at Globe Life Park for Dallas Keuchel. His ERA is .519. You go back home facing the Texas Rangers, his ERA is back around 3. We all know just how dominant he was at Minute Maid Park, particularly in 2015. Three balls and 2 strikes.
Still trying to get that chase on the outside corner. We saw Guzman foul off a pretty good fastball on the inside corner. Dallas kind of bringing that pitch on the inside, hopefully to open up that outside, but Guzman doing a good job fighting through this AB.
That's laced to right. Reddick can't get there. Guzman going for second base. Here's the throw, and Guzman's in with a sliding double. Two for 2 for Ronald Guzman. A 1-out double here in the 5th.
Second hit this evening off Dallas Keuchel, doing a good job of keeping that front side closed and staying on some of the off speed on the outside corner. He gets this one off the end of the bat, but places it nicely well to the left of Josh Reddick.
So he's in scoring position for Delino DeShields. He's driven in the only run of the game for the Texas Rangers. In there for a strike. And that's really the pitch right there that Dallas was disappointed he couldn't get a call earlier in this ballgame. Bottom of the zone. On the ground to Marwin. 2 outs.
MLB At Bat is your #1 Astros app. Customize your experience with Astros home screen icons and features like MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Turns it over to the top of the order, and Shin-Soo Choo. Choo, the designated hitter today. Fouled off at the plate. Well, the Astros with the best record of anyone in baseball within their division. Tonight, the 36th meeting against an American League West team. The Astros 25-10 against the American League West. The crowd on hand here for a couple of 4th of July games yesterday and today over the holiday. Or today and tomorrow, I should say, over the holiday. Astros 10-4 against Texas overall. Astros here in town yesterday with a day off after getting out of Tampa. Astros 0 for 14 in that series against the Tampa Bay Rays with runners in scoring position. A soft serve to left field. Shin-Soo Choo drives in the 2nd run of the game for the Rangers.
Keuchel made a good pitch. Shin-Soo Choo just spoiled it.
Could not have placed it any better.
Off the plate even. Sometimes you anticipate seeing a pitch from a guy, you stay on that outside third. And if you're able to get the barrel to it, you just go with it.
Well, now a 5-2 ball game. Elvis Andrus 0 for 2. Struck out in the first. Ended up flying out to Reddick in foul territory in the third inning on a really good play. A running catch by Josh Reddick running towards the wall.
Nice.
0-2. Elvis Andrus has been through the good times and the not so good times with this franchise. 1-2. Here on the ground, Keuchel goes off that gold glove, and that'll retire the side. 5-2 Astros. Rooms to go. Huge savings on living rooms, bedrooms, and more during our Hot Buy sale. By Champion Energy Services, the exclusive electricity provider of the Houston Astros. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. Kevin Eschenfelder alongside Jeff Blum upstairs. Julia Morales here as well as Todd Callis with a couple of days off. He'll be back with you when the Astros return home for the 11-game homestand. Astros with a 5-2 lead as we go here in the top of the 6th inning. George Springer reached base once, popped out in the first, hit by a pitch in the second, and struck out in the third. One and one. Austin Bibbins-Dirks has started, and he has navigated his way through here. And you see Tony Barnett is warming up in the bullpen for the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, considering how this game started out, Jeff Bannister has to be pretty happy to see Austin Bibbins-Dirks still out there.
That is 106 pitches. Seems like he has been behind in the count all night long. Ball hit to right, and that'll get down for a hit. George Springer with thumbs up. They've been few and far between lately. Good to see a smile on his face, though, as he leads off the 6th inning with the single.
Kind of inside out of this pitch, down and in. And I wonder if, in the mind of George Springer, for a brief second, he wondered if Mazzaro was going to lay out and try and make the catch on that. What a good job by George, staying inside that baseball, letting it travel and getting the base hit the other way. And there's a small sense of relief, getting a knock. Anytime that smile comes back, it usually results in good things for the Astros.
Alex Bregman's had plenty to smile about. He's got 2 hits tonight. Earlier today, named the player of the month of June. Singled and scored in the 1st. Singled in the 4th. It's 2 for 3. Average now up to 281. Hit hard to left. Rua goes back, leaping, makes the catch. Springer will have to retreat. We talk about hard contact resulting in absolutely nothing. That was a great example of it right there. That was a seed hit right at Ryan Rua.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a list you want to be on the top of, but that guy right there is continuing to get the barrel of baseballs.
What more can you do?
He was just smashing baseballs. He's a lot of fun to watch. But a pretty athletic play from Rua. Just timed that good enough to make the grab.
I mean, I know Alex Bregman was number 2 overall pick, but sometimes I think we forget just how young he is in his baseball career to be where he is right now. Tend to do that with him. Same with Lance McCullers.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that with Lance. But a lot of it has to do with the fact that we've seen some real excellence from those guys, and we understand their talent and their potential, and we want to see it every day. We get greedy.
Jose Altuve, a rare 0 for 3 in this ballpark. Came into this game hitting .531 at Globe Life Park this season.
Down to 500.
Right there in that ballpark.
Wow, you don't see that very often at all.
He did that in Tampa.
That was bizarre.
Was it Alvarado who threw the closer, or threw the slider, and Castillo. So a couple of on this road trip. Saw it there. We saw it one other time. That gives you, most hitters, you see it every once in a while. There's going to be a double play. Line drive right at Guzman. He steps on the bag. 7,500 kids and 12 and under will receive an Altuve Youth replica jersey presented by Exclusive Furniture. For tickets and information, visit astros.com/promotions.
Oh my.
Is it the boomstick?
No.
What is it?
That guy's going to blow out his trap holding
It
that
is the
thing up.
boomstick. I'm just saying, no, never again.
You can do it. Come on.
Tomorrow seems like a great day. It's
Yeah,
going to be
it's gonna be
105.
that
It's
already.
nice and cool.
She's like, been there, done
No,
that.
I've eaten that already. There's other delicious ballpark food around here. No more boomstick.
So they've got a,
They can't call it the boomstick anymore, can they? He's in Seattle.
Well, maybe I just made that up. Here's Yuli. Keuchel with the put out of Nomar Mazara.
so underneath as we walk through the tunnels and the bowels of this place to get in, there's a boomstick car.
Yeah, it's like the Oscar Mayer mobile.
And instead, how about my idea? I'm going to take credit for this, even though everybody else came up with it. My idea is to put Julia in the boomstick car and have her doing donuts out here in the middle of Globe Life Park.
I'm all for it.
You and I in the back seat, hair flying.
Maybe during a rain delay, so I get a
Oh.
little extra tailspin.
That would be awesome.
I've got to find the keys to this thing. We've
We
got
do.
a jacket. Yes.
That would be awesome.
Donuts. Difficult in that
Tear it up.
car.
That'd be a huge donut in that big old thing.
I'm just thinking a big rainstorm comes and get a little four-wheel drive working on the morning track.
Start mudding around the track.
Beltre hammers that one to center field. Fifth hit of the night for the Texas Rangers.
Oh no.
The second baseman,
There it is.
Odor.
Oh, that happened. That took all night.
We've got proof.
That really did take.
That's amazing.
How does it feel?
Names.
How does it feel to basically have your entire adult life chronicled?
I don't know.
I mean, just takes.
This is painful to watch.
Did I just do that?
Brent Wallace was impressed.
Or jealous. Brett's over here going, you gonna finish that?
I had so many looks that day.
You said what I was thinking.
Good times.
Oh man. And there for a strike. 5-2, the Astros on top. Rougned Odor 0 for 2. Pulled the ball on the ground to Yuli twice. Keuchel working in the bottom of the 6th inning. Up to 94 pitches. The Rangers at 38-47. And last place in the division, but think about this, to be where they are right now, 38-47, they've won 11 out of 14 to get there. Level of competition has eased up just a little bit. Odor underneath that one. There's 2 away.
Yeah, they're the only team under 500 in the West. Oakland Athletics are playing great baseball also.
Quietly, right?
They've got some good young talent. Every once in a while they're going to get some good starts out of their pitchers. But they have some guys that can go out there and thump it around a little bit. We saw that with the extra base hits in June. But the Rangers, the only team under 500 in the American League West.
Rua on the ground. Bregman spins and throws. That'll retire the side. We go to the 7th. The Astros lead 5-2. Ranger Astro. Tweet us at ATT Sportsnet SW. Now, fans usually they're pretty good on these.
They're very good.
Especially when it's Astros Rangers related.
Yes.
Midsummer Classic, World Series, Ranger Astro.
You don't have it?
Nope.
What's wrong?
Well,
you're the Astro aficionado.
No, that's not
yes.
true. You know which one I got the other day I was really proud of myself was Russ Johnson.
Yeah. I remember that one. I was in the same draft. That's the only reason I knew that one.
He was at LSU, right?
Yep. He was built like Alex Bregman. Kind of a stocky, well-built guy, strong. Tony Burnett in this ball game now. 21 games in this season. Good record. 25 strikeouts in 25 innings. That whip is nice, so you know he's going to be around the zone.
He faces Yuli Gurriel to lead off here in the 7th inning. And Yuli sends that one to right. Mazzara goes back and gets underneath it. 1 out in the 7th.
Flashbacks to Pittsburgh. This wind kicking up, causing a little bit of a stir on the field.
Were you? And it is right now, isn't it? You weren't playing in the game. That was before you. At Wrigley Field, the thunderstorm.
Yeah, I was in that one when Lance Berkman ran to the hills.
The lightning.
Was it LaTroy Hawkins?
It was.
Was on the mound. Lightning and thunder just on top of us. I think Ausmus kind of bolted out of there too, but I remember Lance basically running off the field immediately, and LaTroy just calmly held his position, stepped off,
didn't balk.
That was a nasty storm.
They had tornadoes that day, and I mean, it's unheard of in that area. But in Chicago, I mean, they had them right there, and it got bad in a hurry. And there was a few years before that. Bill Brown could tell this story, but when the fighter pilots came over Wrigley Field.
Maybe that's what I was thinking about with Brad. I've heard this story. It's a good one.
They'll pop up. Delano to Shields makes the play. Oh, they were fighter pilots, and they were going out over Lake Michigan and doing maneuvers. Well, they buzzed the tower at Wrigley Field right in the middle of the game. And everybody reacted. Pitch wasn't thrown. I mean, it was a no-pitch type of a situation. It was that big of an uproar because they came over the stadium. Bill Brown was calling it.
I can only imagine. I just dare a fighter pilot to just buzz the tower at Wrigley Field. Okay.
I got a feeling you probably can't do that anymore. Tony Barnett facing Josh Reddick here. Reddick's had a nice night tonight. Ball hit the opposite way. And Ryan Ruick can't quite get there, or did he? No signal, and now they call it an out. Third base umpire, he said fair, but he never raised his hand. That'll retire the side. Well played by Ryan Ruick. 5-2 Houston. 7th. Out on the board early, 2 runs in the first, 3 more in the third. Rangers with a run in the third, and then came back with another run in the 5th inning. It's Dallas Keuchel going out for his 7th inning of work. This is Robinson Chirinos to lead off here in the 7th. Now, the wind is certainly kicking up here in Arlington.
There's some weather coming in back home, too.
Yeah, well,
a lot of fans watching. Be careful out there with the flash flood warnings, but the wind is.
Right now, you know, you've been on the road. I don't know. Have you heard about all the African dust that they're dealing with in Houston?
Excuse me?
Yes. African dust from the Sahara Desert. I think I'm just making this up. This is what happens when you go on the road.
This sounds like a story when I was playing in Arizona.
No. This is
going on.
Real business.
Is this a test because this is your first game?
Nope.
Working with me?
Nope.
Okay.
True story. There's African dust all over Houston. It's coming from the Sahara Desert. I watch the weather. I don't watch it.
Can you explain that?
I don't know. Whatever.
Twitter's going to explain it. That's what's going to happen.
It's
now
probably
you've
a
thrown
jet
it out
stream thing and all that kind of stuff. And upper level winds. And
ooh, now you're getting deep.
So now it's really hazy in Houston because of that. Now I'm just saying. My point is, it's looking like that right now here. Mercedes.
Speaking of hazy,
this date in Astros history is presented by Mercedes-Benz. I remember exactly where I was for the B game.
Me too.
Where were you?
You were ranking.
I always was amazed with this, was the way this guy came out. And I thought they were going to do something, you know, it's in San Diego, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking they were going to do something environmentally
PETA-friendly.
Yes. Exactly where. But look at the wind kicking up here. And this guy comes out and he pulls out it looks like a
he double-barreled.
Old West, you know, gunslinger. He comes out with those 2 cans of spray and he just unloaded.
Gosh, that is just annihilation.
What'd you do in that game? You know what I remember about that game?
It was a revenge AB game.
I remember that post-game show. I was thinking, we're going to beat the traffic. Rush hour traffic in Houston. I was going to get out of the studio.
Forever.
Oh, tell me. And it was
that is carnage.
What did they say? It was there was perfume in the
perfume in a Snickers bar.
Was that what it was? You're just making stuff up.
No.
Like my African dust. The girl. They said that the ball girl was wearing perfume, and that's what attracted the bees.
Something out of a Ron Burgundy movie is happening here. What?
I still remember. He's like, okay, thank you.
Standing O.
We'll be here all week.
God, he's tipping his cap to the crowd.
I think he wasn't on hand there at Petco Park or Jack Murphy, whatever it was back then, and they had to bring him in. That's what took forever. What position were you playing? Were you playing third?
Yeah.
It was just all of a sudden. It was there.
I think I'm a little late to the Sahara Desert dust party.
You're Googling stuff now.
No, I'm not. I'm getting absolutely destroyed on Twitter for not knowing about the dust effect.
Okay, for someone who spends most of my time in Houston in the studio and has spent a little time on the road, it is hard to lose. It is easy to lose track with things such as that. I'm just saying.
Enough of this.
Oh, by the way, once the bees cleared,
well, remember the killer bees.
Boom. B is for boom and blum.
Yeah, just put your head down. Again, revenge ABs. Kind of interesting to see Pedro Rodriguez giving me a high five in that
Sean
highlight reel.
The list goes on.
Brian Moeller. That's part of the fun in watching some of those old videos is, you know, the guys in the highlight are doing something, but it's the guys on the outside that are high-fiving.
I think Brett Wallace gave you the cold shoulder when she came back into that dugout.
I took the last of his hot dog.
There's Delino to Shields. This will be the 109th pitch of the night for Dallas Keuchel. The wind really whipping around here.
Is Julia okay down there?
No.
What's
What's
going on?
No, I need eye protection.
Seriously.
Get you some goggles.
It's really bad.
Yeah, the environment has completely changed, I bet, down there, hasn't it?
Yeah, this isn't fun at all. The temperature's dropping a little bit, though. That's nice.
Not good.
Well,
the good
It
news.
That's
is.
not good. No, I'm telling you, it's not good.
Is that
No.
rain coming?
I am an expert on African dust. I'm looking up now. Look, there she is.
I've been watching the game.
That is some high-quality eye protection.
Wow. Spare no expense here at AT&T Sportsnet.
It's a game of
I
adjustments.
think I'm okay for now.
Liner to Shields, center field. Hit hard, but right at George Springer. What a night for Dallas Keuchel. We go to the 8th. Astro brought to you by Nissan. Your clues tonight: Midsummer Classic, World Series, and a Ranger and an Astro. Who you got?
Pudge.
Your buddy. You tried to give that away, didn't you?
He's giving a subtle hint there.
Pudge Rodriguez, a 14-time All-Star. 13 years here with the Texas Rangers.
He hit some good milestones with wearing an Astro uniform also. 300th home run, and he set the career games caught right here in Arlington, but he did it in an Astros uniform.
Still works on the broadcast, on the Rangers broadcast. It's in there for a strike from Tony Barnett. Barnett in his second inning of work. Austin Bibbins-Dirks at the start today, and the wind is really, as you can see, kicking up here, and there's a lot of dust. And
what kind of dust?
I think this is Arlington dust.
Oh, okay.
Hot dog wrappers, all kind of good stuff.
Good.
There was a big gust. How about that one, Julia? She's out.
Katie, bar the door.
My eyes are closed. I can't see what's going on.
I mean, what more could you try and work through? This is unbelievable.
The midges were fun in Cleveland.
Oh, no, that was awful.
Is that the little bugs?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would creep me out too.
I mean, to the point where she was cut. Didn't she? She had a couple of, I don't know if she's still on, but Julia, you had a couple of Gatorade towels
They were
wrapped around you, and you were
Right.
trying to bundle up.
They were soaked in ammonia.
Oh, my.
we were using them to
Fedorowicz strikes out. Wait,
I didn't have those wrapped around my face, but we had them around. I can't really see anything. It's funny when it starts to pick up, everyone in the dugout will just bail. Like a foul ball's coming into the dugout, they just run for it.
Wind is easily the single worst element ever. Ruins everything.
You're gonna go with that, huh?
It is.
Okay.
Wind is awful. Wind kills my golf game. It kills baseball. It puts dirt in your eyes. No fun.
Hot dog wrappers blowing around. Here's Marwood, 1 for 3, singled in the 5th inning. Shortened up to bunt there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Astros scored 2 in the first. Yuli Gurriel with an RBI double. Josh Reddick driving in a run as well in the first, and then they come back with 3 more in the 3rd inning. This is upstairs. It's 2-1. And Tony Barnett, I think wants the trainer to come out. He looked in before that last pitch, and he called the trainer out after that pitch.
That is not good.
Nope. And they just sent a reliever down today, Chris Martin.
Not really giving us an indication of what's going on. He's grabbing that right elbow, it looked like, on that camera angle.
So Tony Barnett will leave. Jeff Bannister will have plenty of time to figure out who he wants to use here. They have plenty of time to warm up as well. Did you see him do it? I mean, it looked like the pitch before the final pitch to Marwood. He looked in for just a second, and then after that final pitch, he said, "You guys need to come out here." And so Tony Barnett leaves. We'll have a new man on the mound. Claudio's coming in. We'll get you set for him when we come back. 40,165 on hand here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. A lot of them wearing orange and blue. A lot of them worried about this dust blowing around and how Julia Morales is adapting. There you go.
Oh,
She's going Hollywood.
This is the best I could do down here.
she's going all Corey Hart on us.
That's right.
I got it.
These lights are bright enough. It's not dying down, I'll tell you that. It's fun. It's a new element for me.
Yeah, check that off
I
the
have lots
bucket
of
list.
paperweights and
Dealt with enough of them. Alex Claudio have as much time as he needs, 4-2. A 4.91 ERA, a whip over 1.5.
Yeah, he brings a little bit of the funk with that delivery. You see kind of slinging it in there with that 3/4 arm delivery. He's done a good job of working against the Houston Astros also. A lot of change-ups. Fastball doesn't top out extremely high, but does a good job with the delivery, deception, and movement on those pitches. Fastball, slider, change-up. Uh-oh.
What do you got?
That's a good card.
Yeah, quiet in the box.
H-Town Wiggy.
Always.
Have to catch up. Well done, Stephanie.
Absolutely.
That was a good one. That was what I'm talking about, the creativity. Just put the...
Oh, that's good.
Oh, man.
I love Twitter Tuesday.
It's good.
Oh, what is it, 2020? That's what we're waiting on?
Yep.
It'll be here any day.
Any day.
So Claudio will work to Marwin Gonzalez. It's in there for a strike. It's the 5th time that Claudio has faced the Astros this season. You see the new ballpark going up across the parking lot. Look out again. Here comes another one.
Careful.
It was a called third strike of Marwin, and he's thinking, man, I got dust in my eye. He'll take a
Yeah,
walk
how could
back.
you call that? All this wind blowing.
So Tony Kemp homered back in the 3rd inning, his 2-run home run. Part of why the Astros are up 5-2 here in the 8th. Outside a ball. It's going to be a tough AB. Dropping down low. I would imagine Tony not used to seeing. Usually when you're facing a guy that's going to be doing something like this, you're not going to be the guy that's going to be up there facing him.
No, that is very true. That these guys right here are another reason why you highly recommend switch hitting, because as a left-handed hitter, it looks like he's basically going to try and throw that thing right at your right hip. But you've got to have enough faith to stay in there and stay on the pitch.
Where I go back to where baseball players are able to override human nature. Human nature tells you to flinch when something's coming at you.
Yeah, it definitely tells you to bail.
Do it.
And he's on that far first base side also, as far as the rubber is concerned.
That ball is basically being delivered behind Tony Kemp, and Kemp will head down to first base. Well, Kemp reaches for the 3rd time tonight. He'll turn it over to the top of the order, and George Springer. Tony Barnett started this inning, left with an injury. Now it's Claudio facing his 2nd batter. Alex with a single in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Away on that first base side of the rubber. And Claudio drops down and slings it from behind the left-handed hitter. Missed low. Davinsky warms up in the Astros bullpen. Dallas Keuchel with 7 strong innings tonight. The breaking ball floats in there at 71 miles per hour.
Can almost reload as a hitter.
Tony Sipp joining Devo. One was behind. That's hard to do. Did that ball go behind at Springer from all the way on that side?
Behind him or in between them.
Yep. You might see Tony Sipp to face the left-hander Shin-Soo Choo, who leads off the 8th inning. See where this ball goes. From all the way over there to all the way. He did go behind him.
Behind him. Did you see that? Did you see the poor kid for Boston swing and miss at a pitch that went between his legs?
Here's the pickoff. Tony Kemp. He'll be tagged out. That'll retire the side. Go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Astros leading 5-2.
An Astros gym bag presented by Houston Methodist. For more information and tickets, visit astros.com/promotions. Kevin?
Well, A.J. Hinch had 2 good choices to face the left-hander to lead off here in the 8th inning, and he's going to go with Chris Davinsky. That's the beauty of Chris Davinsky. Not only is he's really good, but he's a guy that do unto left-handers what a left-handed pitcher can do unto left-handers.
Absolutely, and it's a valuable asset in that bullpen for A.J. Hinch. 35 appearances this season, putting up phenomenal numbers again. That ERA is dropping at 1.32, 40 strikeouts in 34 innings. And the fastball, a little bit of a slider to right-handed hitters occasionally, and that changeup is the pitch that Kevin is referring to that makes him so good against left-handed hitters.
Fouled out and works ahead, 0-1.
And even though the Astros didn't do well in that Tampa Bay series, that bullpen didn't get abused. They still pitched extremely well.
A 2-1-for-2. Extended his streak of reaching base to 43 games tonight. It's a big number. It seems like a big number, and it is. The all-time record, he is a little just over halfway there now. 84 consecutive games. Ted Williams in 1949.
Plenty of season left.
Two balls and a strike from Devo. Good night tonight from Dallas Keuchel. You know, Dallas struck out 6 of the first 7 batters he faced. He would only have 1 more punch out the rest of the night.
Should have been Devo's first strikeout.
Shin-Soo Choo with the shift on, thinking about laying down that bunt. Rangers thinking down 3 with only 6 outs to play with. Need base runners here. Popped up on the left side. Long run for Bregman. Not going to get there.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
I don't either.
Take off and go into a full sprint. Realize at the end of the line there's a brick wall. Self-preservation helps your team more than trying to make the phenomenal play.
3-2. Debo's going to take a little more time. He was taking a little bit before he was delivering that pitch, and you see Federowicz says, let's start over. This is outside. Leadoff man is on in the 8th.
Just like we promised earlier in the game, it's the Miller Lite hold true moment. And the moan was Dallas Keuchel's. Did a good job with that breaking ball early on. Striking out 4 in a row to start this ball game. Eventually ends up with 7 strikeouts on the day. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs through 111 pitches. Pretty good outing post body issue.
Ball's fouled off. It's 0-1. That was very slick.
You like that?
7 innings of work tonight. 2 earned runs on 5 hits. Those 7 punch-outs through 111 pitches here on a very warm night.
Yeah, the command is great. 7 strikeouts, but we also got to mention that he got 10 ground ball outs.
And that is Dallas Keuchel, in essence, doing what Dallas Keuchel does when Dallas Keuchel is doing what he needs to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when he's good. I remember a couple starts ago against Kansas City. I looked and I thought, this looks like what Dallas Keuchel is supposed to look like.
Those 2 starts he had against Kansas City in that month of June were perfect.
12 gave up 1 unearned run in 12 innings of work against the Royals.
Yep. And they were low walk games. Had 11 strikeouts in those 2 games, but that was nicely done.
Astros have out-hit the Rangers 9-5. Houston has left 7 and lead 5-2. Chu with a leadoff walk in the 8th. Working against Debo. Here's Andrus. It's in there for a strike. Ball and 2 strikes to Elvis Andrus, who's not been terribly pleased. You've seen a lot of looks like that tonight from Elvis Andrus.
Yeah, I'm not too sure that was too awful of a pitch, because that was that changeup on the outside corner, and usually it tails back a little bit. That 3rd pitch is the one we're talking about on our MD Anderson strike zone, catching the edge.
It's up and in. Fouled away. Shin-Soo Choo. Not exactly a guy that you have to worry about at first base. Need base runners here, down 3. He's dealt with that quad injury. The 2-2. Do it all over again. Astros scored 2 in the first, came back with 3 in the third. Solo homer by Reddick. He's got a couple of extra base hits tonight. A 2-run home run by Tony Kemp. Look at the gold tonight.
These things are sweet looking.
Picked the right man, too. June Player of the Month. Seems like Elvis Andrus has been here forever. Think about it. He came over in the deal. He was a minor leaguer with the Braves in the Mark Teixeira deal. It gives you an idea just how long ago that was. It's been a while. Just off the plate, 3-2. Three-two pitch. Chu is going, and there's a base hit into right field, but still Shin-Soo Choo will not be able to get past second base.
He must be hurt pretty good.
That was odd. Why would you go in that situation if that's all you have? Because
yeah, the whole reason to go is to take an extra 90 feet if you can.
Exactly.
Kind of drifting out there, really no intent. He must be hurt pretty bad because he was showing no effort to go to third base.
Absolutely not. Really. He was really laboring between first and second. So now 2 on and nobody out. Brent Strom will head out and have a word. Shin-Soo Choo's not going to be anywhere on the StatCast Sprint Speed Leaderboard after that.
Yeah, that's not going to help the cause.
Now a tying run comes to the plate. Nomar Mazara, a guy who's got pop.
I wonder how much of that conversation with Brent Strom, Fedorovich, and Davinsky were more kind of getting Fedorovich up to speed on some of the things and maybe an approach against Mazara. Also to calm down Devo. I don't think Devo's great because I don't think he gets too high or too low until that inning's over. He takes the luggage off the mound, but kind of pitched himself into a little bit of an issue here. Nobody out, 2 runners on.
Mazara way ahead of, with a little COD right there, wasn't it?
It was the COD and playing on the aggressiveness of the hitter. Mazara obviously sitting on that heater early on.
Make it 0-2.
Mazara didn't think he'd double up on it, but he did. Now he's ahead 0-2. Again, that changeup out of the hand of Davinsky. It's a great view of it on our Mattress Firm Supermo, tailing away from that left-handed hitter. Is that thing's coming in at 83 miles an hour. He can touch 95. That's a 12-mile-per-hour difference. That's tough.
94 miles an hour upstairs, and Nomar Mazara, a 3-pitch strikeout.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. It's a tough situation to be pitching in, but Davinsky showing complete control in that AB.
So Adrian Beltre with 1 out. 2 runners on in a 3-run game. Beltre 1 for 3, a solid single to center field back in the 6th inning. Chris Davinsky in relief of Dallas Keuchel, who went 7 strong innings tonight. This is the first of a 2-game series here in Arlington. Just outside, it's 2-0. Final trip of the season to Arlington. And Astros will be done with the Rangers before August 1st. See a lot of the Mariners in the last part of the season, last month and a half of the season. 3-0.
That could benefit the Astros because they want to beat them and create separation. But it is interesting that you're going to have an in-division, in-state rival that you're not going to see for an extended amount of time to finish off the season.
(3-0) to Beltre. 4-pitch walk and the bases are loaded. Sip and Rondon warming up. And here comes A.J. Hinch. They go to the bullpen. It'll be Tony Sip. Deep.
On Twitter to show us, and you could win a jersey and a VIP experience. So tweet now and win big.
Well, Tony Sip comes on, the left-hander to face Rougned Odor in a tough spot here with one out and the bases loaded with the Astros leading 5-2 here in the 8th. 24th appearance of the season for Tony Sip. Scoreless in 15 of his last 16 trips to the mound. ERA of 2.29 and a whip just over 1. Odor 0 for 3. He's grounded out to Yuli twice and then flew out to left field. Big spot here after Devo leaves. Gets ahead, strike 1. Devo walked Shin-Soo Choo to start the inning. Elvis Andrus with a single. He struck out Mazzara and then a walk to Adrian Beltre. They're loaded with the Astros leading by 3. Devo wants to start over. Beg your pardon, Fedorowicz wants to start over. But Devo just had trouble finding the zone. Rangers able to lay off some pretty good pitches, but he missed upstairs a couple of times. A high slider in there for a strike.
Well, it's just amazing that after making quick work of Mazzara, that it turned into a 4-pitch walk to Beltre. But you'll see these relievers have a tough time. If a reliever comes in and walks that first hitter of the inning, they're working from behind immediately.
Well, the pitch that he struck Mazar out, that's as bad a pitch as you'll see a major league hitter swing at. I mean, it was a foot above the strike zone. Oh-2 pitch to Rougned Odor. Hit on the ground, fielded by Yuli for one, and that's all they'll get as Shin-Soo Choo comes across to score. But what a play by Yuli Gurriel.
That was an incredible play by Yuli just to get one out.
Not only did he flag it down, but then had to throw from his knees.
Odor, give him credit. Usually a guy who strikes out quite a bit, puts it in play on a line, but robbed of a hit by Yuli laying out. We talk about his ability to scoop. How about the ability to lay out and pick up his pitcher?
So Choo makes it a 5-3 game. And here comes Hector Rondon. Comes on for the Astros, his 34th appearance of the season. He's been very good with that 1.50 ERA. Has not allowed a run on the road this season.
Last time he was out there was in Tampa Bay. Closed out the one game they ended up winning in that series 1-0. What a solid inning. Struck out 3.
Well, he'll face the pinch hitter, Joey Gallo. Gallo thought he was going to get a night off tonight. Comes in a big spot here, hitting 194. Upstairs a ball. Gallo is here in this situation to do one thing and pretty much one thing only. Let's give the Rangers a lead. There's 20 home runs.
Well, there's only one thing on his mind, unless there's that extreme shift on him, but he is just lift and separate.
Swing and a miss at a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-1. Three infielders on the right side. Two balls and one strike.
Joey Gallo with that 194 batting average has 32 extra base hits. 20 of them are home runs. 55 hits total.
So 20 of his 55 hits have left the yard. Runner goes, and that one fouled back and right up here towards us. Nice play on the carom. And first guy never has a chance.
Yeah, he's just there to knock it down, take some steam off it.
2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs with 2 men on. The Astros lead by 2, 5-3. Runner goes, fouled off again. Odor at first. Sorry, Elvis Andrus at third base. Fouled back again. Astros scored 5 runs in their first 3 at-bats. They had a 5-run lead, 5-0 lead in the 3rd inning. They have not scored since.
See Hector Rondon trying to beat him with that fastball up. That was a big uppercut from Joey Gallo.
He is peppering the folks right here in front of us. Another foul ball. The count remains 2-2. Concentration right there at the top of the screen. Andy Anderson, Kansas center strike zone. 8th pitch of the at-bat. Throw over. Two-two pitch. Fouled back again.
Hundo.
That is firm.
That's the first time I think we've seen Hector Rondon get to that 100. Don't see him do that too often. He can live 97, 98.
We've seen Giles, we've seen Garrett Cole. Now Rondon. Am I missing anyone?
I don't believe so.
It's a pretty exclusive club right there. Rugnet Odor close. In the dirt, good block by Fedorowicz. Stolen base for Rugnet Odor. And the tying run is in scoring position.
I think the Astros were conceding that. Good job by Fedorowicz to keep that runner at third base. It's a good little wrinkle down out of the zone. I like the fact that he buried it and trusted Fedorowicz to knock that down. A lot of fastballs in this AB, but you just kind of change the eye level a little bit of the hitter by going down.
Fouled back again.
If AJ had intentions of using Rondon for a multiple inning save, he's a little concerned about all these foul balls, but Joey Gallo is not showing that he can catch up to 98 plus. That last one at a hundo.
This will be the 12th pitch of the at-bat. Rondon wanted the call, didn't get it. It's ball 4. The bases are loaded. Here comes Brent Strom.
Probably give Rondon a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, as much as anything.
That was a pretty good battle against Joey Gallo, laying off a pitch. Fedorovich trying to bring it back as best he could.
Ball had a lot of late run on it. Good take from Gallo. Clearly out of the zone, and now the bases are loaded in this 5-3 game. Now Devo started the inning. He had a walk to Shin-Soo Choo, then a single to Elvis Andrus, struck out Mazzara, but then he walked Adrian Beltre. And Tony Sipp came in, faced Rougned Odor, got him to ground into a fielder's choice, got it out there. And now Hector Rondon and Robinson Chirinos swing and a miss. One and one.
Great pitch.
Man.
Broke off that slider, buckled Chirinos.
See where this is. Wow.
Maybe it might have been the split. Backed up a little bit. Great pitch nonetheless.
Ball was right there at Fedorovich. They called it a strike. So it's 1-2. So now AJ is coming out.
The umpire at first base rung him up. I'm not sure if he checked down there, but the umpire at first base rung him up. That's why AJ Hinch is out here. Quinn Wilcott down there at first base put his right arm up.
Now AJ's going to come back out. This may not.
Watch the first base umpire in the lower left-hand part of your screen. They point down, he rung him up.
And the home plate umpire, and we've got 1-2 on the scoreboard here. So a ball and 2 strikes to Robinson Chirinos with the bases loaded. Astros on top 5-3 here in the bottom of the 8th.
I feel terrible because I thought the second pitch was a strike.
That one pulled high and deep and foul.
Okay, I thought it was a strikeout. I was trying to figure out what was going on, why AJ was out there. And that second pitch,
well, that's because
was a ball.
And that was the crazy thing. The first pitch, you can see it right there, Andy Anderson strike zone. The first pitch was called a strike. The second pitch was called a ball.
That's where I got thrown off.
Way more in the zone.
I just assumed it was a strike. Huh. There we go.
Got him swinging. Big strikeout for Hector Rondon. Rangers leave the bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th. The Astros go to the 9th with a 5-3 lead.
following which Astros pitching performance in Tampa was most impressive to you guys out there, and you guys vote for Lance McCullers Jr. 47%. Charlie Morton comes in second. Thanks for voting once again. Follow us on Twitter. Kevin.
Told you.
You did call it.
Jesse Chavez comes in here to work the 9th inning. A veteran has been around.
Yep, he's logged some serious time in the big leagues. He's got several pitches to go out there and get guys out with, and the Astros have faced him quite a bit. In 25 games this season, he has thrown 51 2/3 innings, getting to 47 strikeouts, 10 walks. He is all around the strike zone. He'll come at you fastball, changeup, curveball, cut fastball, and a slider.
Chavez in 11 seasons with his 9th different team. Strike one to George Springer in the 9th. George 1 for 3. Singled in the 6th. Springer, Bregman, and Altuve due up here in the 9th.
I'd like to see the offense get 1 or 2 more runs out of this. It's kind of interesting the way this game started out to be in this position, only ahead by 2.
Yeah, it seemed like they were in control and giving Austin Bibbins-Dirks all kinds of trouble. To his credit, he stuck around in this game for 6 innings. Good pitch to hit, just missed by George Springer. That's what Julia needs. She needs some sunglasses and Jesse Chavez.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah,
get a contract out of it.
Those look way more effective than the ones that I was trying to pull off.
Well, you started with a scorecard. Actually, for all intents and purposes, a piece of paper.
Wow,
that escalated quickly, didn't it?
yeah.
I need my World Series champagne goggles.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, that would be. Did you retire those, send those to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. It's actually died down. It's a little bit better down here.
Yeah, it has. It's
Excuse the dirty look. I feel like I'm just covered in layers of dust and dirt right now.
It's kind of gritty right now,
Yeah.
grinding through. Well, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Is it Pigpen? Is that who I am?
Yep, Pigpen. That's a
Just
good
a
call, because that's
cloud of
probably
dust.
before your time. You always walk with a cloud of dust around you.
That's me right now.
Schroeder played the piano. Leadoff walk in the 9th for George Springer. Brings up Alex Bregman. Bregman a couple of knocks, singled and scored in the 1st, singled in the 4th inning. He's 2 for 4. There's a line drive right at Odor. Double play. Second time tonight that Alex Bregman has hit the ball right on the screws, but right at a Texas Ranger.
It's amazing how consistent this season he's gotten the barrel of the baseball and hit rockets all over the field.
And AJ's looking in to see, waiting for the word. And Springer has not left first base.
Tough to tell on that replay.
They're going to look at it.
Play happened kind of quick.
Yeah, it happened real quick. Call from New York. They may take a while on this one. As close as that looked at first base.
I think he might be out. They just played it on the big board here at Globe Life Park. Fans seem to think it's going to go the Texas Rangers' way.
I think they're right. Quinn Walcott, the first base umpire.
Ball in the back of the glove right there. I don't see George's arm really bending back for impact. But again, there's got to be enough there for them to be able to turn it over.
He's out. Double play. Second straight at bat that Alex Bregman has just hit a seed at someone and he's lined out. It's also the second time tonight that George has been at first base when a line drive has been hit at someone and doubled off first. Had no chance of getting back, had a better chance of getting back that time. Here's Altuve. Well, Jose, a rare offer for the best road hitter in baseball.
How about checking out Baseball Reference? They keep track of those challenges and overturned calls. So in 102, now 102 challenges for A.J. Hinch, only 47 of them have been overturned.
What would be, is there a,
I'm not sure if there's a major league average.
Yeah, I was wondering
that I can find
immediately.
Really, I'm sure there is one out there.
Judge that against another number. I don't know. Bet he does.
Oh, they've got a number for it in there. Yep. Yeah.
Altuve swing and a miss. Well, he already said he's not going to trust Bregman with them anymore.
No, he's got a worse record.
Hit it.
Yeah.
And hit into it. Swing and a miss. We go to the bottom of the ninth. The Astros leading 5-3. Overbuilt, not overpriced. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Hector Rondon stays into work the bottom of the ninth. Through 16 pitches in the bottom of the eighth inning. He'll try to close this down, facing 8-9-1 in the order of the Texas Rangers. In there for a strike. Ronald Guzman, 2 for 3 tonight for the Rangers. Singled and scored in the third, doubled and scored in the fifth. Almost hit him.
By the way, the Major League average on calls that are overturned, 42%. So AJ and his staff at 47%. Pretty good shape.
Broken bat. Hughley down to a knee. He'll step on the bag himself, and there's one away in the bottom of the ninth. Lino to Shields 1 for 3. Doubled and drove in a run in the third inning. Strike one. Just missed at 98 miles an hour. You get the feeling watching Hector Rondon, he's feeling right at home pitching in the late innings of these games, and I mean the ninth inning.
Racked up a bunch of saves with the Chicago Cubs.
Good slider, 1 and 2.
He's got 82 career saves.
Yeah, he was the man in Chicago, and then they traded for Aroldis Chapman a couple of seasons ago. Really, Rondon, not whether he didn't know his role or really didn't have a role with that team at that point. But you know as well as I do, and anybody, that closer spot, it's a lot of physical, but it's a lot of mental. Knowing you're going to be the last guy in there. Love to make quick work here in the ninth inning. 25th pitch of the night by Hector Rondon, the 1-2. Just got a piece. Swing and a miss, he got him. Two outs in the ninth.
Showing good composure and ability to battle. Had to fight through that last inning to get the last out in the eighth. A decent idea of how long you've got to react to a 98.
Shin-Soo Choo, strike one. Rondon has been ahead of everyone here in this ninth inning. One and two, 98. He's hit 100 a couple times in this game. Rondon looking for a multi-inning save. Right back through the middle. Gloved by Marwin, and Hughley can't come up with a scoop. So Shin-Soo Choo reaches. Marwin did a great job getting to it. With a runner aboard on the base hit, and Elvis Andrus will bat. Well attended, Shin-Soo Choo. We had to get down the line.
Marwin did a heck of a job laying out, but popped up quickly and threw that dart into the dirt. Then a little bit of a collision afterwards.
You know, the part about that, Marwin, I don't think he realized just how little Shin-Soo Choo can run.
Well, the internal clock tells you that you got to get up and throw, especially after a dive. I don't even think Yuli's turning to go get the ball because he's anticipating the runner to be past the bag, and Choo was nowhere near it.
Well, we saw him trying to run from first to second on the Elvis Andrews, and he was running on the pitch. Andrews singled into right field, and I mean, there was no chance of going to third.
And you're not pinch running for him because you just leave that there.
Yeah. Oh, and 1. Didn't go. Way out in front again. Got to ramp up for 100, and then he throws the 87-mile-an-hour breaking ball in there.
There you can see Rondon getting on the side of it to create that breakdown, and you can tell by the swing that Andrews is trying to sit on that fastball.
1 and 2, gets away. Choo, no chance.
Yeah, he's not even budging. There's no anticipation of ball and dirt to get the extra 90 feet. Not that his run means anything, but at the same time, run yourself out of the force out at second base.
Choo at first with an infield hit. Elvis Andrews, the tying run is at the plate with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Back up the middle. Altuve's there. He'll flip, and the Astros win the ball game. Astros scored early, and they were able to hold on, pick up their 56th win of the season.
Good team ball game. Got a great outing from Dallas Keuchel. The offense showed up early. That's all they needed with those 5 runs in those first 3 innings to be able to pull this game off. There's your final score, Houston 5-3.
A couple of extra base hits early from Josh Reddick, including the home run, 2-run homer by Tony Kemp, and the Astros win for the 56th time against 31 defeats. The Astros win the opener of this 2-game series. The final score 5-3. Stick around, much more to come. We'll come back and wrap things up. The post